Alright, so the day has finally come to fix this oil cooler on this leaky van. Don't know if it's the seals, but we got seals and a new oil cooler because it's really old, and actually not really, well, who knows how old it is, but it was appearing to be the oil cooler, so I'm gonna check it out, and if it turns out to just be the seal, then I'm gonna return the oil cooler, but I have it just in case. So this video is going to be removing the fan housing to get to the oil cooler to replace. I haven't seen a lot of videos on the pancake style engine, so we're gonna go forth with that. I'm using the GoPro here because it's a little easier to film when dealing with all this stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. So to figure this out, I've found and downloaded the original service manual diagram and instructions for removing the fan housing. So we're gonna go off of this and hope for the best and see what we can do. So there's two different styles of engine. You know, there's the pancake, and then I don't know the other term, but it says here that there's an air injection pump in the regular one, but ours doesn't have that. So we're gonna go down to here, except on engines without air injection pump. So what we're gonna do is unbolt the extension shaft with pulley from the fan housing, and then remove the extension shaft with pulley, the ignition timing scale, the fan with crankshaft pulley, and the alternator belt from the engine. So I'm gonna go forth and see if I can figure that out. Alright, well, I'm gonna go off of this a little bit, but as I'm reading this, I'm starting to think that this is talking about two different styles of engine, but it's generalizing, giving little bits of details for both. This diagram is slightly off from the engine I have, but at the same time it's the same thing. So right here there was this plate, went ahead and took that off. And we're going to take this oil filling cap off. So what I do know so far though is I need to get this belt off. And right over here we have what seems to be the adjustment screw for the alternator, which tightens the belt here. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that, try and take this belt off, and go from there. Alright, so I'm starting to figure this out a little bit. This right here, the alternator adjustment bolt, which proved to be very old and rusty, hard to get. But I'm really confused. This bar that the alternator was connected to is all loose. It's literally not connected to anything up there. It's hard to tell, but right there, the bar, this bar was literally not connected. Anyway, now I'm gonna go forth and take off this bolt down here, which is the mounting bolt for the alternator. There's a bolt up here for the plate, one for the mount, so I'm gonna loosen that. Okay, so it is literally dark out. I started this probably around like noon. Granted, it gets dark at like 5. It has literally taken me 5 hours of trying, getting frustrated, trying again, a lunch break in between, some other stuff, shopping to go get a tool that I thought would help, then trying, getting frustrated, shopping for another tool that I thought would help, and guess what? It helped. Anyway, it has literally taken me all day to get my alternator bolt off in the back. In the process of trying to get it, I stripped it. And anyway, I can finally take my belt off. Long awaited. a day later. Boom, look at that. That is some serious dedication right there. Literally 6 hours off and on trying to take off this one belt, which is actually looks like it's in good condition. So anyway, finally got that off. It's dark. All of this basically just to replace an oil cooler seal. So I'm gonna continue on. Alright, according to this manual, what I'm starting to figure out is I don't think my engine came with a what's it called? Ignition timing scale. So so what we're gonna go ahead and do is remove the fan with crankshaft pulley, which is gonna be those 3 bolts. So we'll go ahead and remove those and go from there. Alright. So, quick update. I finally got this off. It was right in there. It was tough, but we got it off. Now, apparently all that's left is to undo those 4 bolts right there, there, and there. So, go forth with that, and we are literally almost there. Alright, so now that we went and took these 4 bolts out, we're just going to go around and separate all these random bolts that might be holding in this front half. Also going to take this guy off. Alternator? No, I forget the name. Obviously I don't know engines that well, so. Alright, back at it today. As you can see, I came in here, took off the plate for the alternator, disconnected the alternator completely, and we're still just going ahead and wiggling off this fan guard. Not much to report on. I was trying to get this front half off, but it doesn't seem to want to come off, so I'm just going to take them both off together. I think it might be the oil dipstick potentially, but anyway. Alright, I'm so stoked right now because after like several days, maybe a week of trying to get to this, figuring out what was leaking, then trying to get to it, I finally have taken the fan housing off. So reassembling, as you can imagine, is the same thing, but I'm just gonna go in here and replace this oil cooler